Hey, Stephen, I don't think we've talked about Alyssa Thomas enough. Not sure if you can hear me, so welcome, Mercury family, back to PHNX Mercury. We're excited to be with you live from Studio K. At least Steven is, and I'm there in spirit. I love that studio, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little sad that y'all are saying goodbye to my favorite place at PHNX HQ, and I didn't even get to say bye to my fave studio, which it shouldn't even be my fave studio because the other studio is the GOAT studio. So I don't know why the Studio K is my favorite studio. I just think it's nice that my voice echoes so deeply in there. It sounds good when I'm in there, and I like it. But Steven, my PG1, QB1, on and off the field, in and out of the studio, on and off the court, wherever the heck he wants to be, and every day ending a Y. As I want Kevin to say it because he said it with a French accent on the Wildcat show the other day, and it made me laugh hysterically. So, Kevin, can you please introduce my co-host?
Bonjour, Stephen Pridgeon-Garner.
You know, Kevin, I don't wanna hurt no feelings. The more you say it with the French accent, the more I hear Rudy Gobert. Can't hold you. I've been biting my tongue on saying that for about it's been like 4 days now.
All week, Stephen, all week.
Yeah. It's starting to sound a little Gobert from me. I'm not gonna hold you. That could be a compliment. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying it kind of reminds me of Rudy's voice when you say it. So Shane is a big time Rudy Gobert stan, so I'm sure he'll appreciate that shout out. Yeah, if you could see the face he's making behind the scenes.
Well, here we go. Since Steven got that intro halfway out of the way, what did he tell me he wanted to be introduced
excuse
as?
us for
Oh
the
yeah,
turnover.
wait.
That was a lack of communication.
We can blame Nate Tibbetts on that one.
Okay.
Nah, I can't even blame Nate. That's on.
We
I
can do
guess
that.
that's on me. I'll take it.
Chris
That's on me.
Chris Paul game 5, what that was.
Hey, chill, man. Too soon still. Way too soon. It's been like
But without
8-9
further
years,
ado,
but still entirely too soon.
I texted Shane before the show and I said, Shane, how do you want me to introduce you? And he said NBA Youngboy. So without further ado, we got NBA Youngboy over
WNBA
here.
Youngboy, right?
Depending on what season of I guess for which of the 4 seasons it is, yeah, you're WNBA Youngboy
Right.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for tapping in. Thanks Shane for joining us. If you don't know this guy, Shane Young, he writes for Forbes. He's a real deal, and he just did an exclusive with Alyssa Thomas that I'm not gonna lie, not only did it knock my socks off, but it's making waves in the WNBA community as it should because it's top tier content. When you've got the likes of Alyssa Thomas talking you through her thought process, which we are going to get into because we do have Shane with us here today. It's a special gift. So if you haven't already tapped in with Shane's content from today, you definitely should because it is top tier stuff. If I can get it out of my mouth, and he killed it. So Shane, how you doing today?
Thank you, Erika. Thank you, Stephen. I'm doing okay. Very tired. This was a crazy last 48 hours trying to piece all that together. So I need some sleep, and that's what I'll be doing after I talk with you guys.
Well, we're glad that the Mercury train doesn't start back up till tomorrow, so you at least have a little bit of a break until you have to be
Right.
back at PHX Arena, just like us and everybody else that's in the comments. So shout out to you guys for being here with us. I want to make sure we say a special thank you to any of you guys who were at the event at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos last night. It was a dope event, and I am sorry to everybody that couldn't be there. It was a giveaway. You had to win it type thing. It's tough, and I hate that for you guys. But I assure you, there will be tons of other opportunities via the Mercury to meet your favorite players, whether it's Lexi or Kit or any of the other players on the roster. The Mercury does a fantastic job of getting their players out there, and this is just one of those events it was sick. So I would love to tell a funny story. I'll just get one quick one off. You guys should all know that Sammy Whitcomb is the team mom. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She makes sure everybody's squared away. She makes sure everybody's having a good time. Make sure everybody's locked in. But again, make sure everybody's having a good time while they're doing it. And I think that's a little bit of like, I don't know, maybe a secret. I don't know that I would have guessed when we asked them about, who's the most fun person on the team. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I never for one second thought Sammy Whitcomb would be the person that came out of their mouth, and it came out of both of them.
I think for me, it's the energy that Sammy brings. I think there's an element of surprise that adds to the kind of impact of energy that Sammy brings on a daily basis. I think with players like Kalia Copper, players like Natasha Mack, it's expected. So it is what it is. It's definitely not anything less than top tier, but there's not an element of surprise where when it's coming from Sammy, I just don't know if people expected it if they didn't know her or they didn't know as much about her prior to her time here in Phoenix. So shout out to Sammy. You need some vets that bring that type of energy to kind of break up the mundaneness of a regular season and to just generally add some fun and some new dynamics to the team as a whole. Helps to navigate the regular season significantly more when you got those type of personalities. And Sammy, for all the experience that she has, is still very much youthful, and how much she moves around the floor, the way she celebrates after she hits threes, and the ways that she kind of plays with that fiery, youthful type of exuberance.
You know what that means, Erika? If Sammy is the team mom, right, then who is the troublemaker? Who's the biggest one that she's had to get onto the most? So.
It's definitely, I'm going with Satu or Kalia. I'm going with one of those two for sure.
I don't know. I feel like Mac is low key just such a personality that how do they even keep her on the straight and narrow sometimes, you know? And not that she's not locked in for her development purposes, but just she's always just trying to have a good time while doing so. And
For sure.
think that's one of her best attributes. And we've talked about, her team building, prowess that she's obviously been so good at over the last 2 seasons. And so, yeah, I think Mac, for me, got to be the person that I can imagine that Sammy's just like, "Mac, are you serious?" I can hear it in my own, and well, I guess it maybe a little Australian twang behind it.
I feel you. I think Mac is mild mannered, where Kai and Satu are too, but I think they're a little more spontaneous than Natasha Mack is. Just in maybe how they are off the court when they're just kicking it with the teammates in the locker room or like cracking jokes or doing whatever team activities they got going on. But I think that's a question that we should be asking whatever next players we have come through, whether we do an event with them or they have them come on a podcast or in one of those non-basketball type of contexts that we get a chance to holler at the players with. I think that's a question that should be at the top of it. But I also wonder if Dawana was around for the entire season, would she be the team's mom?
Ooh.
Because Dawana definitely gives those vibes 1,000%.
Well, I think that it's a nice thing for me because Sammy's on the bench, right? She has such a connectivity with everybody, and she's been in so many different roles in the WNBA and overseas as well. So I just feel like her role really matches her experience, and I really love that for her. I love that she's found a team that is willing to accept the leadership role that she's willing to take on for exactly what it is, and it's just been nice to see everybody accept exactly what their role is. And to your point, I feel like DeWanna Bonner probably came in at the perfect time. They started going through a little bit of losing spell, and then boom, you got this veteran presence that isn't going to take no names, make no jokes. She's here to win, and that's exactly what it is. And so I think it's been fun. The team dynamic has been very interesting to watch come along all season. And I think through these last what is it, 13 games now, or are we still at 14?
I think it's 14.
Oh, period. Yeah, because I guess we haven't had a shows or game since Monday. Dang, that's so boring. Kathy, I'm looking at you, girl. I know it ain't your fault, but like, update the spreadsheet. Can we get another game? I'm bored. But see, Shane, I really am excited to have you. And I made Kevin put me in the middle because this is exactly how we sit at Mercury
Oh
games. And
my
I feel like it's
God.
just so fitting because I get to really annoy Shane all the time. And I do a darn good job at it. Steven just gets to laugh at me annoying Shane because he doesn't really have to deal with it too much. He's just glad that Shane is there so he can take a little
Uh,
bit of the buffer.
I got to hear the lyrics during every song that's played, during every loud, very, very loud timeout. Emphasis on loud.
Well, today you missed the Frozen sing along on the DLS Wings podcast. Like literally, I was singing on the like I was doing full karaoke with no music. So it
I
just
can't.
always think about how it could be worse.
It could be. Yeah, Steven, this is what you put up with all the time.
No,
Oh,
no, no.
Well, anyways, guys, I'm really glad to have you all here. Like I said at the beginning, we really haven't talked about Alyssa Thomas enough because, frankly, we could talk about her for 40 hours a week, full time, and it still probably wouldn't do it justice. So I'm really excited because I feel like Shane has a unique perspective, getting that exclusive with AT and getting to talk to her about her thought process. So I kind of want to just open the floor at first to let you kind of take or give us your main big takeaways from talking with Alyssa, and then we can get into more specific questions.
oh yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's funny because like it feels like it was a month ago, but it was just less than a week ago that happened. But I think my biggest takeaway, and I think both of you can kind of relate to this, especially during the post game pressers, although they don't want to reveal a lot in those, you can still kind of get a sense of it. Like, no matter how smart you think WNBA or NBA players are, like multiply that by 10. Like what you see is just, on this, it's just barely scratching the surface. Like they are so much smarter than you even anticipate. And it makes you feel stupid when you're sitting there. That's honestly my big takeaway in the whole thing because, you can go in thinking you have a good idea of what might, you know, be the talking points or what she might say about certain plays, and then there's 3 4 5 different things that you just didn't see or think of, and a lot of that is because they watch film all the time, like triple the amount that we do, right? It's crazy, but also like that's, you have to understand that they've been doing this for not even, what's this year 12 for her, not even 12 years, like longer than that. Like they've been going through, dissecting plays, figuring out little nooks and crannies on how to get better for the better part of 15 20 years. I'm sure that was the case for Alyssa in particular. So yeah, that was the thing. You go in feeling good about it, and then you're sitting there and she's pointing out things that you're just like, oh well, I didn't see that. Let me go back through it. So yeah, it was a good 10-minute conversation. Nothing. I had everything planned, but there were still things in there that I even couldn't get to, that couldn't make the video.
I think what really stands out to me, and this even goes back to the piece that you posted the week before last, during the back-to-back-to-back triple-double streak. There was a quote that you had from your article, and the quote was so powerful, it was so apt, that others decided to use it without contribution. So what we're doing on our podcast is attributing. Shane, and I quote, after mentioning other NBA players who we are not here to talk about, he said that she's not insert NBA player name here, and she's also not insert NBA player there. She is the WNBA's Alyssa Thomas. And I think that's important, it's apt, it's very concise, but it says everything. You can say she might be comparable to other players in the W in history or NBA players or whatever. None of those players are her. None of the shapes of those puzzle pieces matches with hers, because hers is very unique. No one combines the skills and the acumen and the impact on the game all into one specific dynamic in the ways that Alyssa does. And that's on both sides of the floor. She's genuinely one of one across the entire history of basketball. And I think that her talent has suggested she should be at least a one-time MVP at this point. She does not have that yet. Her talent also suggests that she should be a champion right now, by now. She hasn't gotten that one yet. I understand that we're here to talk MVP and continue to push for that because her talents and everything she's done this season are beyond deserving and earning of that. But she's valuing the championship more than any individual accolade. And she'll take whatever comes or doesn't come with getting that championship trophy and having one of those in her possession because she's an all-time great. And that's the only thing that's missing from her that separates others that have played even her position that are in the league right now. So I guess that's maybe the most I have to say at this present moment on Alyssa. But yeah, I think back to the quote, she's the WNBA's Alyssa Thomas, is as apt as any of the quotes that you've had in these last two pieces that you've written on her.
I appreciate that, man. I don't know if Erika wants to go. Before I chime in on something that just sparked in my mind as you're talking about that, it's the reason I thought that was an important line to put in that piece was because it's not saying that, like, I don't think anyone besides her family would like argue that she is like the greatest player of all time. Like, it's just that she's the most unique, like just the most unique player, hands down. I mean, there's really, you can't compare her to anyone else in the in the NBA, whatever you want to do, because like the statistical feats just don't make any sense. And her attitude and her demeanor on the court don't compare to anyone else. There's just really nothing like her out there. And of course, you're going to have your best player in the world. You're going to have, Asia, Nafisa, Diana for a long time. Like those are objectively maybe better players overall, but it's like Alyssa is just one of one. I think that's the most accurate descriptor that you guys have been using. I mean, you guys have been using that all over social for the last year plus, but I think with her, it's just the way she sees the game, the way she really doesn't need to score, yet she's having a career scoring year. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, this team really doesn't need her to score like that, and she's doing it.
Well, and I was going to bring them to my next point is there's really no player that's playing to her level right now, as she's the only player in the WNBA right now who's top 15 in points, rebounds, and assists and steals. Like, we are sitting here like throwing these big, loud buzzwords out about her, but like the numbers speak for themselves and that she's doing it all for them every single night. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to win. And to Shane's point, if it's go score a bucket, she'll go score a bucket. And if she needs to go grab a rebound to make sure that the other team doesn't have a chance to score, she's going to do that. She just has a winning mentality and it shows in her stats. And you don't even have to. We always talk about stat watchers on this show and how they kind of don't do the game justice. You can literally be a stat watcher and recognize how fantastic Alyssa Thomas is at what she does.
And to that point, Kevin, we could go ahead and strike up one of two videos that we have from Kalia Copper. For y'all in the chat, I actually asked the question that we're getting ready to post Kalia's response to right now. Looking at Kalia Copper speaking about Alyssa Thomas's mentality and the acknowledgement of the all-time great talent that she is.
Like I just said, who is doing what she's doing? Name one player that is doing what she's doing. Who have done what she has done? There's not one player. And then just like I said, at her position, playing with her team, like you brought up, like her not shooting threes, it doesn't matter. Because she don't have to. To have the success that she's having, making history, not shooting threes, don't break it. What is it? What's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't whatever. So yeah, like I just, it's just so much respect out to her, because some people feel the need to, like, they feel that pressure of like, okay, like they're doing this. Like, no, she never wavers in what she does. So that's just confidence that is just comfortable in being who you are, and trendsetter,
Confidence, comfortable being who you are, trendsetter. I think all three of those phrases are aligned directly with everything Alyssa Thomas is. And excuse us for the Kalia glitch that took place in the middle of it. She said a word that we cannot air on our streaming services.
Kalia? No way.
Very much
No
Kalia.
way.
That's her energy when she's speaking passionately about someone or something that is deserving of it. So it was very endearing. But yeah, we couldn't air that part. So shout out to Kai for the leadership that she's provided and extended and stepped into this season, because you don't get this version of Alyssa Thomas being comfortable being herself if the franchise player, Kalia Copper, is not comfortable enough to give her the space to be the player that she is. And I think Kai also acknowledges that she can't be her best self if Alyssa isn't being hers, and the team can't reach their ceiling if Alyssa's not being herself through and through as well. So giving her the space to be that as a franchise player is not something that's as common as you might expect for it to be, because with a lot of players, if we're really being transparent, they're willing to want to win to an extent, and that extent has to be on their parameters. It has to be on their terms. With Kalia, the only agenda is winning. And I think that for Mercury fans, unfortunately, y'all were succumbed to that in the 2021 finals as an example of it most recently. But for you now, you have that same player with that same mindset that's infinitely better than they were in 2021. But also has some players that are all-time greats as well coming around with her right now in Alyssa Thomas. So definitely want to shout out Kalia for the quote, but also for, again, the leadership part, because there's not a lot of players that are franchise players that will be willing enough to allow another player to be fully themselves, even if it does come at the hit of some of their production, because it's for the greater good of the team.
Have y'all seen this Yahoo Sports article that came out, 2 hours ago?
Nope.
Oh, well, let me rephrase. It came out this morning, and on the list of MVP candidates, would you guys like me to read them to you?
How far down the list is Alyssa Thomas is my question.
Well, there's 3 people on the list. Would you
Okay.
like to guess who they are? Or you want me to list them?
Obviously Fee, obviously AT. I'm assuming Alicia Gray. Big Al is on there.
So I'm glad you did that, because that was just a little thinking exercise. Steve, Shane, would you like to take a gander?
Well, I'm gonna guess AT's not on there. So
Would you like to guess who's taking her place?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
like Yahoo
on
Sports.
Yahoo Sports, Nafisa Collier is the runner, but then the second best contender is Alicia Gray, and the dark horse is Sabrina Ionescu.
Okay.
Yeah. And they put out this graphic, and I want to give my girl PHX Sons with a Z25, my girl Maddie. I'm pretty sure listener. I know she listens to the Sun Show, but I don't know if she listens to the Merc Show. She put out this, and she's like, I wanted to read the article at least before I made my assumptions based off of the graphic they published. But I just don't know how else we have to put it that what she's doing, no one else has ever done before. And like, yes, Sabrina is having a fantastic season, all WNBA first team caliber season, but MVP caliber, it's an egregious conversation to be having. So I read popped up right now, and it felt relevant.
I would say I appreciate the season that Sabrina Ionescu is having. She's grown leaps and bounds from what was a monumental season of growth last season, where she was probably top 5, no less than top 6 in the MVP race. However, this season, I don't think she's in that top 3. Is she in the hunt? I do agree with that. But she's not in the MVP race, meaning she's top 3 at this present moment based off of what she's done so far this season. She's been very good. Very, very good. One of the 3 best guards in the WNBA comprehensively this season, for sure. But she's not been better than an Alicia Gray comprehensively this season, and she hasn't been in that MVP top 3 for me personally all season long.
You know what? I always have one question when AT's left out of these conversations, and it is like all these people that vote, all these people. No, I don't vote. I don't think we vote, but like all these people that do and cast their votes and explain their reasoning. Like AT will have like just a sentence or two about how they're propping her up, but then they're just not going to put her in the MVP race, right? But what is the answer to why the Mercury went from 9th defensively last year to number 2. Like, if you can give me a reason that's not Alyssa Thomas, like, I don't know, then maybe I can understand your reasoning for leaving her out. But she is the reason. Like, she's not the only reason, but without her there, they are not the second best defense in basketball. They are way closer to 9-10 than, like last year. So I just think people don't consider the jump. Now, I'm not sure what the win difference is. I haven't I forgot what they finished last year, specifically, but like they're a few wins, they're a lot of the wins better, and then plus all that jump defensively. Like you just, there has to be some rationale attached to why AT is not there.
I can understand how others can see Napheesa Collier being the MVP this season. I won't argue against her being in that top 2, and I won't argue that there's no way in the world that Fee should be the MVP over Alyssa. I think that the race is close enough to where someone that's supporting one of those two sides of it can't say they're necessarily right, because this is all objective, but it's definitely something where you can appreciate someone else's perspective because it's those two names being involved. And I'll even, like I said, I'll consider conversations for Big Al, Allisha Gray in that as well. But after Allisha Gray is where it kind of caps off for me in terms of the conversation to, what's today's date? August 14th. So to August 14th, on this present day, if it's not one of those 3 names, I don't think that player has a viable enough, sustained enough kind of resume to present that suggests that their name should be involved with this particular group of players, because each of these 3 players have been in a different type of space than anybody else in the W at multiple moments. Big Al was the best player in the W through the first couple of days of the season. And the way that Atlanta got out the hot start to the season, they had pieces around, but she was the kind of driving force with all of that on both ends of the floor. Obviously, with Phoenix, Alyssa Thomas being the same, and Napheesa Collier is exactly who she is. So
I don't know. For me, I just feel like at this point, I feel like I'm being rage baited multiple times per day, and it's starting to work, and it's giving me a headache. I'm trying not to get too butthurt, but I feel like how many times do I have to say it? How many times do I have to tweet about it? How many times, like, what more? And honestly, Stephen, like, I feel like at this point, what else could you or I even say about the race
I know what we can
to
say.
make it?
Well,
Watch the games.
I'll go. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
go ahead,
Watch the
Shane.
games.
I have a question. So let's just assume, because there's 14 games left or 13, right? Like, just assume she's not going to win it. Is this like how many more like viable chances do you both think that she has? She's 33, be 34 in April, next April. Like, but she's getting better. Like, the train hasn't stopped. The train has kept going the other direction. So just like Walter White said, like, nothing stops this train. That's AT, right? So what, like, do you think that she still has, like, 3 more years of this production or more?
Genuinely, earnestly, I do. Because if she's doing this at this point in her career, and this is probably the best roster, at least to complement her offense, the best roster that's been built around her with her skills and the ways that defenses have to work to attempt to guard her, this is the best roster that she's been around. And I think without literally saying that, I asked her about being surrounded by shooters and how kind of that's a breath of fresh air and why her playmaking is hitting different this season. She said, yeah, it's as simple as that. I've been asking for shooters to surround me my entire career, and I finally got that here in Phoenix, and this was like 10 games in, and she was like, we're seeing the results of that already. So yeah, they keep shooters around her. They keep a similar type of roster construct. They'll improve it, but a similar construct that improves in terms of balance. I don't see any reason why she can't be leading the W in assists, because she's going to get downhill whenever she wants to and however she wants to.
Well, and I listened to Matt Ishbia on Espo's Southwest Bias this morning, and Matt Ishbia talked about Alyssa Thomas being a superstar. And to me, the conversation I was had between him and Espo sounded like not only is she a superstar, but we want her in Phoenix for as long as we can possibly have her. And so, I mean, when you have the support of the Phoenix Mercury, who has proven to not only, be a good home, but also put resources behind their players beyond just their paycheck. I hope that she has the resources to have a long career. And, she's playing in Unrivaled and she played well in Unrivaled. If I don't recall, it feels like a literal 10 years ago by now, almost a decade. For real is what it feels like. But I don't think that she's going to be done doing what she's doing anytime soon, especially, and y'all know I've been back in the train for a long time. I said undefeated on the season. So I was already planning the parade in April. But if they don't win this year, like I really think that we are going to see this version of Alyssa Thomas until the Phoenix Mercury hang a banner.
Well, you bring up a good point that I think that next year's Mercury. Now I don't want to like put them in their grave. They're 19-12. Like they can easily go win. They could go win the title, right? Like, but I think next year's Mercury stands a chance to be better, right? Like just more time. Kalia doesn't miss the first part of the season. There's more chemistry. Monique just continues to excel and ascend. Like people forget that Alyssa's playing with 4 WNBA rookies. Like that was also my piece. Is like, I think that makes her proud that she's helping these rookies pave their own way. So I think next year they could be up there, with those insane records that we're seeing at the top.
Man, y'all really know how to get a girl excited.
I genuinely am uneasy about everything WNBA offseason because I'm not even confident there's going to be an early part of the season next year because of where this stalemate is with the CBA negotiations. But also because of the CBA and the way that I forgot whatever percentage of the league is free agents, nothing's simply guaranteed at this point. They're looking to cash in. They built this roster to win now. To Shane's point, Big 3 team constructs typically don't win in their very first season. It's usually that second season where they really take that step into contention. I think this Mercury team is ahead of the curve because of how well they built around their Big 3 to where their team hits like a genuine team. It's not just 1 or 3 driving forces. It hits like a true unit when they're at their best. They're trying to get the most out of this season. And I think Alyssa is well positioned to potentially get her first MVP trophy in tow with that. But Erika, do you want to get to an ad break real quick?
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say because we're going to Shane, I hate to put you on the spot, man, but we got trivia today, so we got to get to that, and I'm real excited for it. So after this quick break here on the PHX Mercury Pod, we're gonna be doing trivia, and I'm gonna put Shane on the spot about one other thing before we go. So don't you go anywhere here on the PHX Mercury Podcast. Oh man, my checking account has really come in handy over the last couple of weeks because I've been flying around this state trying to keep track of what the Phoenix Mercury are doing. Next week, I'm going to be trying to fly to Vegas because, the Phoenix Mercury are just here, there, and everywhere, and I'm trying to see them win, and that's exactly what they're doing. And my lifestyle is helping me do that. And everyone needs a checking account. You can get the checking account with built-in benefits. The Mountain America My Style checking account has just the perks for you. Like I said, restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. Y'all might need those offers on events come September when the Phoenix Mercury are flying to God knows where to play in the WNBA Finals, period. But make MyStyle your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/MyStyle to apply. Membership is required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration or activation. Terms and conditions and exclusions do apply. And the other people that are going to help me get to where I'm going. And I just have excellent news. Yesterday I was doing laundry and I found a fuel card. Thank you, Matt Simpson. Thank you, David Veenstra, for all the services you do for me and Circle K. Really appreciate that. But you can be just like me. You can get fuel discounts, cheaper snacks, discounts on Polar Pops and Frosters. Literally, they have everything you could ever want. Like, They literally have everything you could ever want, with the exception of watching the Phoenix Mercury play basketball. So you can stop by, get a little pregame snack, maybe a pregame froster, and then fly over to PHX Arena tomorrow, and you can see Stephen and I taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Well, we're not taking on the Phoenix Mercury.
I'm not
But
playing.
the Phoenix Mercury. Yeah, I'm not. Never mind. My bad, y'all. But y'all can see the Phoenix Mercury take on the Las Vegas Aces, and before you even get there, you can get discounted gas. It's a great deal. Join the Inner Circle Rewards. All you have to do is download the app, put in your phone number, your email address. It's literally the easiest sign up you'll do. I know you probably signed up for another app today, probably pressed the terms and conditions you didn't even read. Circle K is literally easier than doing all of that. So join the Inner Circle. I know there's something very specific at the end that I have to read. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for more details.
Kevo, fueled by who?
Circle K.
Fueled by who?
What are you talking? Fueled by. You're putting on. I don't know.
Circle K.
I said that.
I wanted to hear you say it again.
Oh, well, I thought when you said who, I thought it was like the incorrect answer. And I was like, I don't know what else I would be looking for. America's Third Stop?
Enough force, my guy.
Circle K, Steven. Fueled by Circle K, Steven.
There we go. We getting there now. That's the energy.
America runs on Circle K, not the redacted coffee name.
What?
But are we going to do trivia now? Or are we going to wait?
We can save it for the end.
Okay. Well, I do want to have just like a little bit of a conversation about the Mercury as a whole. And so if we're done talking about AT, we can move on to that. If everybody's okay.
We're never done talking about Alyssa, but we could put it on hold for a brief moment.
Yeah, just wait till our next episode on Monday. We'll probably have another guest on the pod just to go into all the, MVP caliber things that AT's been doing. Just because we got to get a new person in here every week. Because apparently Stephen and I aren't doing a good enough job per this article that rage baited me mid podcast today.
Got more work to do.
But Stephen, or not Stephen, I do this all the time on the Wing Show where I'm talking to somebody and then I say the wrong name and then I look like a dummy. So I'm really sorry. This is probably why I shouldn't be in the middle. But anyways, Shane, at the beginning of the season, you presented me with some doubt about this team. I'm putting you on the spot because you did.
I don't remember this. Doubt.
Well, you were a fibber.
I seriously don't remember this. If you can tell me what I said, I'll own it. Just tell me what I said.
just don't think you thought this team was going to be this good. I think you thought.
Oh, so you don't have a direct quote. You're just pulling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't walk around with my recorder hanging out, just waiting to catch you so I can hold on to receipts forever, Shane. I'm not trying to get you X-nayed out of Forbes. I'm just trying to put you on spot on the podcast. I feel like that's fair.
You are correct, Erika Day, that I thought that this team would be like maybe a 500 team, like nothing. They were below 500 last year, so I thought they were marginally better, but I thought it was going to take a little bit of time. And I forgot. I think they were 15-6 at one point was their best, and I think that's when they lost 4 straight, maybe. Someone fact check that, but. Yeah, I mean, they've totally proved me wrong, and I think more than anything, it's especially early on. I didn't know Satu was that good. Like, admittedly, and I think everyone on this panel knows. Like, I'm a new WNBAer. I've not been around for 3 years. Like, last year was kind of my first year getting ingratiated into it. So, really wasn't. What do the kids say? Like. What was that? Wasn't aware of your talents. I forgot. I'm not hip.
I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yes. God, I'm terrible. Dude,
big Unk Shane. That's big Unk Shane.
Oh, jeez, Unk status. But anyway, you're right.
Shane invited to the unction.
You're right, Erika. Yeah.
I just wanted to know what about the Mercury's depth, because I feel like that's what everyone's main questions about the team is just regarding, the depth and if it was even there in the first place. So I guess what has been your biggest surprise about the Mercury outside of Satu Sabali?
No, I think the fact that, and Stephen, this is so different than the NBA where that's what I'm used to. Like 4 rookies making an impact, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And if that happens in any league, like your team is destined to win the title or do something crazy. And for that to happen, I'm just like, there's no way. I'm watching these games. There's that one game in particular. Was it the comeback against Chicago at home where they just rattled off 3 after 3 in the fourth quarter. I think Salto hit one, Monique hit a couple. And then you obviously got veteran Sammy in there as well. But I mean, it was just that was the game for me that really opened my eyes. Now Chicago, sorry, Stephen, like not that good of a team, but still, right? Like still that type of comeback, led by AT. I think she just dished a lot of assists that night. What's new? That was kind of the night for me, and that was early in the season, maybe early June, that I was like, okay, yeah, this team has what it takes. Like second half Mercury, like I don't care what they're trailing by, like they can mount a comeback.
Yeah, they have a formula for never being completely out of a game, for the barrage of 3-point opportunities that they can create, the opportunities to make those, the efficiency that they can sustain, but also because their defense is so dynamic, it's so chaotic. If they're playing in transition, and I always talk about Alyssa Thomas's bun just waving in the wind after every loose ball or rebound that she gets control of and takes off the other way with. If you're seeing that 4 or 5, 6, 7 times in a row, they probably scored on 50% or more of those. And a lot of times that's resulting in either and ones for Alyssa as she gets into those deceleration steps and Euro steps and finishing around and through contact, or she's kicking it out to Sammy Wickham, or like Shane talked about earlier this season with the kickbacks or the pitchbacks to Satu Sabali, who's just trailing into rhythm pull-up 3-point opportunities without a defender to contest it. Kalia Copper knocking down those shots the same. Kit Loxa, Kat Westbill, Lexi Held. All these players can capitalize off of the attention that she has. This is why I feel like this team has the potential to make the finals. They have a lot of work to do down these last handful of games over the next 3.5 to 4 weeks. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that they can get back to that space that they were operating in earlier this season and be completely healthy doing so, and have that kind of punch hit different going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think so far this season, 68% or so of their shots have come from 3 or at the rim. So, eliminating a lot of the garbage stuff, right? That
we call that
I
the
don't
maneuver
like.
strip around here.
Do you really?
Well, hey,
Nate
we
calls
don't.
it the
Nate
maneuver
Tippett started it, and then yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought, but yes, like they were taking the right shots, and also I think what helps their playoff formula or identity is that I really do trust this team more than last year to string together like 3 stops in a row. Like I think, shout out my guy Joe Verray on Twitter. He has a thing called kill count, right? Like it's like 3 consecutive stops in a row. That counts as a kill. Like I just trust this Mercury team with that backline help that they have now. Like with AT just doing everything right, like directing traffic. Like I think they can hold their own defensively. I still could see, definitely could see scenarios where the moment might be too big for their shooters, or they're not hitting like they do in the regular season, and that holds them back in the playoff series. But yeah.
Yep.
Well, y'all know what my expectations are. It's not hard to figure out. And when they do it, I'm gonna bring the boom, the thunder sticks, the barking. I might have to go buy an air horn so I can honk through the city. I gotta let the people know exactly what happened. Shane's gonna be scared. He looks scared right now.
Going to be? I think he already is. Right. I was about to say, what you mean going to?
Can you have that parade in Tucson? Can we do that?
So when I burn down the city, it's here instead of there.
I live a mile from the arena. You cannot vandalize this city. That'd be my house. Like you can't do that.
You think I'm gonna vandalize? Like no, I'm just gonna
whatever.
flip cars.
That's the first word that came to mind.
The adrenaline is gonna take over. What is so funny? I feel like these expectations are a good thing, but before we go into trivia, because that's what's coming, I want to talk about one more race that we actually haven't mentioned in a little while. And I feel like Stephen might be a little surprised, but it's actually the Coach of the Year race. And I feel like Nate Tibbetts, earlier in the season, there was a really strong case, and I was making it. I was leading the charge of the Nate Tibbetts for Coach of the Year race. And I feel like there have been a few other teams that have taken a bid for that. Specifically, I'm looking at you, Atlanta. But I guess I was looking for both of your opinions on the current Coach of the Year race.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Stephen.
My Coach of the Year at this present moment, Carl Smezko of the Atlanta Dream. I think that for both coaches as well as Alyssa Thomas as an individual player, that game was big in terms of voting for the Coach of the Year race and the MVP race. Alyssa Thomas, context-wise, if they would have won that game, that would have been in a stretch of games where she also had 3 consecutive triple-doubles. If you also put that in tandem with a win, that would have leapfrogged them from 4th place on Sunday to 2nd place instead of still being stuck in 4th place at this present moment before tomorrow's game with Vegas. That context matters. Those meaningful moments matter if you're telling a story of individual players across the season. They came up short in that one. Because of that, I feel like Carl Smezko is probably my number 1 in the Coach of the Year race. And trailing shortly behind him for all of the context of a brand new team, an expansion team to the
God, you're
league.
stealing my pick, man. Oh.
Yeah, that's your homie, so I'll let you go ahead and announce
No,
it.
go ahead. I was
got
thinking
it.
of a good answer.
You got it.
Yeah, Natalie Nicasi, like she definitely deserves some praise here or some recognition. Stephen, you're right. Like, under what circumstance should Golden State be 17-15 or have the ratings and have all the efficiency stats that they have? Like that, it's kind of crazy. I mean, you watch them a lot more closely than I do, but it's just like one look at the standings and just watching them play, it's like, yeah, this team has been around for like 3 years.
Nope. Yeah, I think there might not be another team in the W that exudes their coach's qualities in the ways that Golden State does, especially for them not having, maybe not who people may have thought was their best player coming into the season, but she was their lone all-star, and that's Kayla Thornton. The fact that she is not available for the team the rest of the season, unfortunately, and they're still kind of keeping on that same beaten path, that says a lot about everything that Natalie Nicasi is establishing up there in Golden State and that kind of culture and identity that they're playing to on a nightly basis.
We got Tanika in the comments reminding me that Nate Tibbetts unfortunately did in fact coach himself out of that race, and it did in fact cause me physical pain.
I don't think he's coached himself out of it, because if they finish top 3, I think his name is firmly entrenched in it. And the only way that he would lose it at that point is if they finish number 3 to Atlanta being number 2.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can really see that kind of playing out against him. But
I always just, and this goes for any sport. You can apply it to literally any league. I don't know how to handle the Minnesota Lynx, like a team that has a 14.5 net rating. That it's that Steve Kerr dilemma, right? Like they win 73 games, that they just destroy everyone. It's like, well, how are you going to give coach of the year to someone else, right? Like, so I don't know how to handle historic level teams. How have you, Erika or Stephen, been judging that with Cheryl and the coach of the year?
I didn't know Steven's gonna take this away, or does he want me to?
I mean, I can unless you wanted to chime in.
No. I'm gonna just say it. Cheryl's got more continuity than anyone in the W. The only people that kind of rival them are the New York Liberty, and I mean, look at their record. And granted, they faced a lot more adversity, in my opinion. Granted, obviously, the Minnesota Lynx are playing without Fee, but I mean, the New York Liberty is playing without Stewie, has played without JJ for multiple stretches of the season. I think Sab has missed 1 game with an injury. I mean, they've had a lot more adversity, and then on top of it, they had the addition of Emma Mieseman in the middle of the season. Like that throws a wrench in your plans, regardless of even if you were planning for Emma Mieseman to come. Like your entire body of basketball literally has to change now because you have a MVP caliber player now suddenly being throttled into your team at full speed. So, and also, mind you, with Stewie being out, I would imagine that maybe Emma would have worked in a little slower if Stewie was playing, but Emma was kind of thrown into the fire, guns blazing, because Stewie wasn't playing. So I personally think, and it might be unfair of me to say, but I think Cheryl's out of the race just simply because everything that she's doing this year, she already did last year. And I don't think I don't think there's as much value in just doing it again. And maybe I'm wrong about that. And doing it again with the same team. I mean, what the biggest major difference on that team is no Dorka and the addition of Dejanay. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm just completely forgetting about someone absolutely
Just Shepard,
diabolical.
Jessica
Yeah,
Shepard.
okay. But outside of that, like, and also, and I know that I can't hold this as a personal grudge for the rest of my life, but here
But you
I was at
are.
the beginning of this, and you know I will, Shane. You know I will. But here I was at the beginning of the season picking Diamond Miller as MIP or Sixth Player of the Year because of things that Cheryl Reeves is out here saying in press conferences, and Cheryl Reeves out here making me look like an idiot, like an absolute idiot with that comment. And so, I just don't really appreciate things like that. So she talked herself out of the Coach of the Year race a long
Right.
time ago. If you're Erika Day, they're lucky I'm not a voter.
But like they are on pace to be 37-7. Like that's what they're on
And
pace
that's
for.
awesome.
Like
I'm so happy for them. Like they have a defensive player of the year caliber player on their team. They have an MVP in Nafisa Collier. Then Courtney Williams, who
oh, okay.
regardless of
Yeah.
whatever you think about Courtney Williams is the perfect point guard for the Minnesota Lynx. And then you have the embarrassment of riches with Natisha Keidemann coming off behind her. It's ridiculous what they have. I talk all the time about investigating. I still feel like we haven't gotten the true results of the Las Vegas investigation. They need to investigate those people in New York, and then on top of it, what the heck is in the water in Minnesota? That's disgusting. They've got too much. Like it's not fair, and I'm sorry to be though. It's not fair, but it's not. And you know. This is the PHNX Mercury podcast, after all, and for the Olympic crimes committed versus my goat Diana Taurasi, uh, y'all ever heard of the Candace Parker curse? I know Steven has. I know Steven knows what the Candace Parker curse is. But all I'm saying is I feel a Diana Taurasi curse of brewing in the WNBA, and that is no one's fault but her own. So if they don't win this year, y'all can bookmark this exact clip because uh, I've been talking about it since I watched the doc as the Diana Taurasi curse. So it doesn't have quite as good of a ring to it as the Candace Parker curse, unfortunately. But we can workshop it.
I know it's the boring answer, but it's not easy to repeat as champs. It's not easy to sustain success across multiple seasons. Even if your team has more continuity than anybody else, that also means that teams have more film and understand kind of your approach to the game and the things that you like to do. That makes it hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that for the newness that Nate Tibbetts and Carlos Mesco, and obviously even more than both of those two combined, Natalie Nakase is having to deal with, I just kind of weigh those things a little bit differently than Cheryl doing what she's doing and doing it again. But I don't want to use that against her, though. I hope that makes sense. I feel like she's top four for sure. If any of these other coaches have any more slippage, the margin for error, she's just going to eat it up and just climb back up the charts. And at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up as the Coach of the Year again, because her job is, yes, she has a lot of talent. Yes, she has continuity, but they continue to evolve their process. Their defense this season is better than it was last season. It's not easy to do. It's just not. And their offense is equally, if not better than it was last season as well, in tandem with it. So shout out to Cheryl. People say what they want. I'm keeping it basketball, and as far as basketball goes, she is through and through the best coach in the WNBA, and she's sustained at that level for the better part of a decade and some change now. Again, not easy as well. So she has a standard, she has a bar, and she's simply meeting and exceeding and resetting that bar in succession, one after another after another.
Well, now that you got one completely reasonable answer and then off the rails answer, do you feel like your question was answered?
Succinctly, yes. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Oh man.
Kelvo,
Well,
let's go ahead and get to this last Kalia Copper clip that we got as a transition to trivia. So here's Kalia talking about how different Alyssa Thomas is at practice today.
Just a lot of respect to AT. She doesn't care about what everyone else does. I think she does what she do very well. She doesn't go outside of that. I think and what she brings for what we already have is amazing. I think that just that leadership, and I don't think there's a better passer than her at her position. So I just love playing with her. I know she'll find me, and just very unselfish. Just sometimes we're like, "Yo, take a layup," and she's like, "No, I'm passing it." So just to like credit out to her. I don't think she gets all the respect and things that she deserves. But like I said, there's no player out there doing what she's doing, and she's doing it at a very high level.
Okay, so that being said, Alyssa Thomas is different. Not news to anyone that's watched her actually play basketball before. And if that made you feel away, that's probably because you are not someone that's watched her the right way. But that's another podcast for another day. We are here for trivia time. So let's go ahead and get to it. Everybody in the chat, y'all know what time it is. So we'll give y'all about 30-ish seconds, have a discussion about the questions I pose. Try to get your answer in as soon as you can. We'll try to keep track of who says what. And obviously we got both of the people on the screen with me here, Erika and Shane, as well as Kevin Thomas behind the Mac right now participating. So without further ado, question number 1. So it's no news to anyone that's up here with us right now that Alyssa is averaging 9 assists and having her best assist season of her career so far. If I told you she's averaging 9 assists and that's her career high, what would you guess her second highest assist per game total is over the course of her career?
Am I allowed to guess yet?
I can take y'all time. Like we can have a discussion about it.
I didn't know what the rules are. I didn't know if we were shouting.
Ain't no rules. You just gotta guess based off of what you think and what you might already know.
Like 7.8.
Okay. Shane said
I was gonna go 8.5.
I remember glancing at it, but I forgot.
Shane
I'm gonna
said
go 8.5.
7.8. Erika, you got a number, average number in mind?
8.5.
8.5. Kevo, you got a number in mind?
7.6.
Is this a scenario where Stephen can't answer? Like he knows the answers?
Well, yeah, Stephen knows the answer. He comes up with the question, Shane.
Oh, well.
This is trivia with SPG.
Okay.
Are we done with our answers?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to repeat them one more time for everybody that's in the chat so we can make sure we kind of lining it up. So what is Alyssa Thomas' second highest assist total on average over the course of her career? Obviously 9 this season is her highest. Kevin, what was your number again?
7.6 because
7.6.
The genius that is Shane Young took my 7.8 gut answer.
7.6. Shane said 7.8 and Erika said
8.5.
Drum roll, please. 7.9 is the correct answer. So the closest to that is Shane Young.
Wow.
So Shane takes round 1 of trivia on today's episode. For full context, Alyssa Thomas, 9 assists, obviously on average, is her highest over her career. She hit 7.9 twice in 2023 and 2024 with the Connecticut Sun. And then her third highest average is 6.1 in 2022. So 22, 6.1, 23, 7.9, 24, 7.9, and 25, 9.0. So
I'm just laughing at the chat.
Contextualize the ridiculous level of playmaking that Alyssa Thomas is and why I feel like she can sustain this level of play for another 3 or 4 seasons if she decides to play that long. We'll go through 3 rounds, so we'll tally up everybody's answers, see who's winning at the end of it all, and then we'll kind of close out today's show from there.
And Shane, just to contextualize this for you just a little bit, Kevin Thomas, our producer, has me beat out in total trivia wins right now.
Is it 2-1 right now?
I think it's 2-1 because Kevin went on a little bit of a vacation, so he missed some shows. But I'm pretty sure on the season, I am definitely losing. I just don't know if it's 3-1 or 2-1.
How about if you finish last, you need to move to Minnesota. That's the rule.
Sheesh.
She has to move to Indiana, actually.
Oh,
right.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Hashtag
Man, your laugh
TUFF.
is
a tough
crazy.
Yeah, yikes. Okay, so Alyssa Thomas is leading the WNBA in total assist points created this season. She has a whopping 589 assist points created in her 816 minutes played. Number 2 on the list this season, Courtney Williams. She's played 102 more minutes than Alyssa. She only has 470 compared to Alyssa's 589 assist points created. So with that number in mind, 589 total assist points created this season. What do you think the total of assist points created on the season, or the highest number of assist points created in a singular game for Alyssa Thomas is this season? Shane might have a leg up on y'all for this one because of recency bias with work done.
I do not know this in terms of single game. I don't know this.
I will give you all a hint. The number is higher than 30.
What was the total number again?
The total number was 589.
You shouldn't have
she's
given the
played
hint.
in 26 games this season, which is 5 less than second place Courtney Williams has.
I'm gonna go 42.
Okay. Erika says 42. Shane, you got a crack at it?
39 because it's a weird number.
Okay. Shane says 42. Or Shane says 39. Erika says 42. Kevin, what you got?
36.
36. Okay. We got some answers in the chat. Let's get a drum roll, please. Against the Chicago Sky, the exact same game that Shane mentioned a little bit earlier, same one I did a film session on earlier this season in June. She had 41 assist points created on 15 assists. So, Erika, you were one off above it. Shane, you were one off underneath it. So now what y'all are gonna do?
He's 2 off, right?
You were 2. Were you 2 off? You said 39. Okay.
Yeah.
So then Erika gets it. Then Erika got it. All right, so we got Shane and Erika with a win so far. Kevin.
Hello.
This one's for you, sir.
It needs to be.
It better be. So looking at this season with Alyssa Thomas, she has 671 passes that have led to shots for teammates this season. Significantly more than second place. Veronica Burton only has 579. She's played in more games than Alyssa Thomas. As far as potential assists goes, what I want to ask y'all, and listen to this carefully. Alyssa Thomas is number 1. That's elephant in the room. How many other players have more than 300 potential assists on the season?
And she's at 600 and something. So you're asking who has half of that?
Alyssa's at 448 total potential assists.
Oh, okay.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 players outside of Alyssa in the top 7.
Did you just give us the answer to the question?
Huh?
Did you just give us the answer to the question?
I might have, I might not have. Let me know.
Okay.
So of the players in the top 7, how many have 300 plus?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
3.
4. Wait. 2. Actually 2.
Got 3.
I'll go 4. I'm gonna go 4 because I don't want to have the
Yeah.
same answer, but it's fine. I'll go 4.
Y'all got y'all answers given up? Y'all
Yeah.
good? Y'all stamping it?
Yeah, 3 players with at least 300. Yep.
Kevin, you said what was your number?
I said 2.
You said 2. Final answers, last call. Anybody changing?
Locked in.
Can I go? I'm gonna go 1. I'm sorry. I don't like being on that side of the. I don't like being on that side of the metric. I'm going 1. I'd rather be a too little than too high, too many. I'm going 1.
Waiting for some answers in the chat. Okay. The number is 6.
Wow.
It is 6.
Oh, wow.
Kevin, I tried to
So,
throw
Erika,
you a bone, brother.
you just went the other direction.
I tried to throw you a bone, brother.
It's okay.
Throw you a bone,
It's
brother.
okay. It's all good. You live and you
Erica said,
learn. You live and you
I don't
learn.
like being on that side of the Metroid. Then she went to
The other names in the
one.
top 7 for potential assists this season, all rounding out at 300 or more at this moment. Chelsea Gray has 300. Natasha Cloud has 326. Tied with Natasha Cloud is Skylar Diggins at 326. Courtney Williams, 347. Veronica Burton, 363. Kelsey Plum at number 2, 367. So
I got
all of these numbers being significantly less than Alyssa Thomas, while most of these players have played at least 2 or 3 more games more than her on the season.
I did want to say one thing before we hop off here. You know what absolutely blew my mind on the research
Talk
for
to
that
us.
piece? I was trying to look at like assists per bad pass turnover to get a pure passer rating, right?
Mhm.
Aaliyah Boston is like 10 a ratio. Like she is the highest in the league, Aaliyah Boston. Like I did everyone that I sorted and it was her. I was like, even more than AT. Kind of shocked me.
Definitely is surprising. They've definitely leaned into her as a playmaker more with Caitlin around, but even more so since she's been out of the lineup. But Aaliyah Boston is doing some things this season. She's making some things happen for sure.
Well, and our good buddy, friend of the show, Rob, just said AT is 104 assists away from the single season assist record. And I don't want to, counter eggs before they hatch, but based on the numbers, she's on pace to get there. So bark, bark, bark for that.
Also, shout out to Calvin Wetzel on Twitter. He covers college basketball on the women's side, but does a little bit of WNBA stuff for, I think, Winsider, if I remember correctly. I think Alyssa is like 1 3-point assist away from setting the record for 3-point assists in the season. So there's still double-digit games left, and she's missed how many at this point? 4 or 5 games?
5. Yeah, 5.
And to have already been within 1 of the record, which if the Mercury shoot better against Atlanta, she just simply shatters that and they win that game. Again, this is your MVP. Let's not overthink these things. She's doing things that no one else is doing for a team that's needed to lean into her to do these things for them to be at the level that they're at. This is your most valuable player.
Well, Stephen, why don't you go scream at Yahoo then?
I ain't screaming at nobody. I just want people to watch games.
That's what he has me for.
Oh, yes. You're the bark.
Erika on the case. Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
That's what I'm screaming.
Correct.
Stephen never has to raise his voice. He just has to know he's with the program. He calmly explains, but I just almost blew my head off trying to say. And I appreciate him for that.
Yeah, I'm not a voice raiser. Shocker to anybody that knows me, I'm not a voice raiser at all.
I, on the other hand, do like to raise my voice. Okay, we got to talk about 2 things really, really quick before we get out of here, and I promise it'll be quick. Number 1, first and foremost, I gotta talk about the 2K launch, and I'm gonna keep this quick because if you want to go watch me really dive into this, go over to the DLS Wings podcast. I literally talk about this for like 15 minutes because I'm so freaking excited about it. And listen, I played the living crap out of NBA 2K25. Like, I literally was gonna pull the stats, like the hours that I played the game, but I genuinely know it will be embarrassing, and so I just decided I wasn't even gonna look because I know if I look and I know what it is, I'll end up saying it, and then I'll be embarrassed and blah 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 blah. But just know I'm a 6-time back to back to back to back to back to back to back WNBA champion because the game is just simply too easy, and I'm not even good at 2K. I just am trying to contextualize this for you guys. The mechanics were not good. I would argue that the face scans were borderline disrespectful for certain folks, and then on the top of it, just the overall customization of it all, like, and again, I don't want to compare it too much to the men's side of things because like it isn't the same, right? But when you can literally like make trades and be the GM of a men's team and literally build a team from the ground up, like literally from the ground up for the men, and on the other hand, I'm stuck. I'm playing in 2032 with Diana Taurasi on my team because the computer is too stupid to know that my girl is 40 years old. Like, that's crazy. So I'm very hopeful that this means that not only is there like more abilities in the game, but that just the game build for the women's side of it gets a little better. And trust and believe I will play and let y'all know because I'm very interested. I'm trying to build a team around John Morant, Satu Sabali, and Alyssa Thomas. What do you guys think?
You said Ja Morant, Satu Sabally, and Alyssa
Correct, because
Thomas.
that's the whole point of this My Team thing is you can put the guys with the girls, and I'm trying to have an AT lob to an absolute ridiculous dunk from Ja, you know?
But why you need Ja if you got
No, I hear you, but I'm trying to see how the game mechanics work, and someone's got to do the hard work so I can make sure it works properly, you know? And I promise to build many different teams, I promise. And I'll again report back on all of the great things I find in this game. Maybe I'll even take a clip or two for y'all and share them with the class, but just need the game to get better in terms of the WNBA part of it. Like the Nate Tibbetts space scan is terrible. Sandy Brondello kind of looks like herself, but everybody else, like, is just a joke. And so I just needed that little piece, like little stuff. I always, I follow a lot of people that cover sports from like a whole standpoint, not just WNBA or not just the NBA or not just the NFL. And I get really frustrated when they cover the WNBA and like they're talking about the Aces and the Mercury, right? And there's a picture with Kelsey Plum and Candace Parker on the Aces. And then you look at the picture for the Mercury and it's Skylar Diggins-Smith, BG, Sophie Cunningham, and Diana Taurasi. Like the value is in the details, and it spreads the same for 2K. And like I know it's a great thing for them to be involved in the game, and I think they get paid like a, a good chunk of change for being a part of the 2K like stuff. But I needed to see see a little bit better, a little bit better. So I'm very hopeful. The news today made me very optimistic. And like I said, I'm just going to build the most ridiculous basketball teams you've ever even thought of in your entire life. And I cannot wait. I think that Steven and I should, in the off season, obviously, we should just have a little bit of fun, like just a little bit of tap in, you know?
Asia
And I
Wilson,
can,
Bam Adebayo, front court, feeding families.
yes, see, we can just have so much fun with this. And I just think of
Hey,
the
he might be here tomorrow.
uniform. Preach,
could
preach.
be.
Um, but yeah, so that is one thing I was very excited about today. Any 2K thoughts from either of you, lads?
I want them to improve rating because there's no reason, no rhyme, no reason why role players should be shooting even close to the same stratosphere as Kevin Durant from mid range. Those things I respect everything Andrew Nemhard did in the playoffs last season. I understand that they don't get to game 7 and have a chance to win it without his heroics. He is in no class, in no way, shape, form, or fashion in the same stratosphere as Kevin Durant when it comes to shooting mid-range jump shots. Or scoring the basketball in any capacity, if I'm being respectful to Kevin Durant. There's just no way.
To be honest,
role players are too good. There should be a bigger gap between the best players and the role players. That's the difference in the game in actual real life. Let's make sure we're replicating and streamlining that for ratings.
real quick, the problem with the ratings has always been that they're not relative to the actual sport, right? So like if 2K one year decides we're not going to have any 100 overalls or 99 overalls and outside of like 2 guys, then it forces you to drop everything down relative to that, right? So if Kevin Durant has like whatever he has, like a 92 mid-range, but Andrew
97.
Nemhard, 97, but Andrew Nemhard, let's say he's not good enough at anything else at the high level to, and that's not necessarily the case, but let's say that is the case, his overall is not going to be high enough for him to make the lineup in the minutes that he does in real life. So you kind of need his overall to get inflated a little bit so he can actually play the minutes in the game that he does in real life.
It sounds like the process is significantly flawed.
Oh, it is.
Erika
Be
will-
better. Ronnie 2K,
Erika
I
will
know it's not
appreciate.
all on you, but it's on you because you're the only public-facing figure. Clean it up.
Erica will appreciate this. The last 2K I owned, Derrick Rose was on the cover of it.
Wow. Wow.
I hear that's a good 2K to own, but like I enjoyed last year's 2K a lot, but I played a lot of minutes, a lot of hours on that game. Probably a lot of days, if I'm entirely honest with you. But I just know how good the game could be. And when I have to download rosters to be able to play with Paige Beckers in August, that's crazy.
In
Yeah, that's
August.
wild.
Like that makes me so upset. And so yeah, if we can just get a little better with the details. And I there is a certain level of like complications with that because of the way the season is scheduled, and then when the game comes out and blah 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 blah. But I think if you're gonna put WNBA in the game, then you need to prioritize their fans in a proper way. And their fans want updated rosters, and they're not getting updated rosters. Like I said, it's 2032, and I'm winning titles with Diana Taurasi. That's literally crazy. Like what stratosphere are we living in? That girl would be like what 48 years old? Like no, that's not real. So, one last thing though, before we get out of here, shout out to you guys for participating in my 2K conversation and sticking around with us till the end. But if you're not doing anything, a week from tomorrow, August 22nd, begging, I'm pleading, I'm telling you, August 22nd, when the Phoenix Mercury are taking on the Golden State Valkyries, the PHNX Mercury podcast is hosting the official PHNX Mercury takeover and pregame party. Look, we're gonna go have some pregame beveraginos. We're gonna have some snacks. I would gander we'll probably end up getting a Matt Ishbia $2 hot dog on the way into the game. And then obviously, I don't know if you guys heard, but they dropped a Mercurita today, and I will obviously be
Wow.
partaking in a Mercurita. I'm sorry to tell you, but
Wow.
Mercuritas will be being had at this takeover event. And we obviously have to test out the fill your own what is it? Fill your own thunder stick. And I'm being facetious, you guys. We're not actually filling our own thunder stick here, only with air, okay? But I did want to just mention this event to you guys because it's a lot of fun. We had a couple of them last season. This is our only one this year, so it's your only chance to come out to a game to be playing with you. It's the only chance I have all season to go to a Phoenix Mercury game for fun. And if you want to see me, listen, Shane deals with me being annoying on Media Row. Just imagine me in a seat with my Mercurita and my Thunder Sticks. It's a sight to see. And by that, I mean it's a sight for sore eyes, and it is scary. It's just as scary as you might think it is. Let's hope the Phoenix Mercury win, because last year they won. No, Stephen, when you were here and they played the Liberty, they lost, right?
No, I was here when they played the Aces, and yes, they lost that game.
Was
And
that
then they
Asia's
beat the
40
Liberty.
piece?
Yes.
Woo!
Can we get that again this year? And for the brand redacted food delivery service, that discounted rates would come with that, and we just can't get a 40 piece anywhere this year. Like, it's crazy. Kathy, I know you're making the calls, girl. Stop that. I'm trying to get a discount on my food delivery service. There's a certain one up in Phoenix that I get every single time, and my discount would be really nice if we could do it. If the Mercury have to lose, at least do it on the back of a 40-point game. You know?
I hear that.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Thanks for dealing with my ridiculous, ridiculous attitude. I've only been awake since 4 o'clock this morning, and when I'm awake for that long, it does make me a genuinely insane person. So I do appreciate both of you guys for dealing with my absolute chaos today. And I know that Shane would be willing to come back on the show anytime we asked him. Am I wrong?
Maybe. No, I will. No, for sure. I'll be back. I'll be back when they're in the WNBA finals.
Ooh, clip it.
So again,
Well, you can.
make sure you go over to Forbes.com, check out his most recent work. Obviously, what he posted today on Alyssa and breaking down some of the film of her prolific playmaking, but also her back-to-back triple-double in succession with one another games from a little bit over a week ago. He wrote about those games shortly thereafter too. So always support Shane. If you don't follow him already, make sure you go and change that on Twitter. Shane is Young NBA, correct?
Yes.
So follow him on Twitter at Young NBA. And yeah, always talking basketball. He reports for the WNBA as well as the NBA. So you get year-round coverage from Shane. So make sure you check him out. I always support his work, and friend of the show through and through for sure.
Appreciate you both.
Between
always.
these two guys and their film session, I've learned a lot about basketball in the last 2 seasons. So shout out to both of them. I couldn't thank them enough. And
we've learned
just
how
because,
to scream.
Listen, we're in overtime now. Don't piss me off, okay? I'm a nice girl. I'm a very nice gal, okay? I mean nothing. I lead with love and good intention. Don't piss me off, Shane, okay? You and I were enemies for a little bit. You want to go back to that? Remember when you said the Mercury weren't going to be good? And I was like, I'm mad at this guy. Like, why would he say that?
You've brought this up twice now.
Right, because I was mad about it. Why would you say that? Don't you listen to the pod? You would know that there's nothing to be worried about with the bench if you listen to the pod. Am I wrong?
I'll see you. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Well, it's been real. It's been fun. Shout out to all of you guys for joining. And also shout out to Big Kevo Post for producing for us on this fine Thursday afternoon for the final time in Studio K. Even though I'm not there, I'm only there in spirit. You can follow Stephen on Twitter at StephenPG3. You can follow me at Erika Lee Day. You can follow Kevin at Kevo Post. And you can follow all of us together making the most ridiculous memes ever. Word on the street is there's one about how they use glue sticks coming within the next couple of days, but you didn't hear that from me. At PHNX_Mercury on Twitter. And we will see you guys on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.